Okay, here we are now continuing on. Instead of working from larger units to smaller units, we are now flip-flopping it and working from smaller units to larger units. So now we're going from like inches to feet, inches to yards. We're going from cups to pints, cups to quarts. Okay, so we're starting with a smaller unit of measure and going big. So your book is open to page 291. And we're going to just jump right in. So like we did on the other page, we wrote L to S because we were working from larger to smaller, but on this one we're going to write from smaller to larger. So what you need to remember is this right here. This is important. If I have 1 yard, that's the exact same as 3 feet. If I have 3 feet, that's the exact same as 1 yard. These are equivalent. So it doesn't matter how you write them as long as you have that unit of measure that goes along with them. So I could say I have 12 inches in 1 foot, or in 1 foot I have 12 inches. It's the exact same thing, okay? So keep that in mind as we start working through these problems, because all we're going to be doing is multiplying. Just like we did with going from larger to smaller, we found that unit rate. We wanted that number 1 on the bottom, okay? We wanted that 1 on the bottom, or that unit ratio. We wanted that 1 on the bottom. So here we are going to convert smaller units to larger units. Here's what you do. It says choose the ratio that allows you to divide out the common units, okay? To divide out the common units. Well, what does that really mean? Take a look. If I was trying to figure out 12 feet and how many yards, notice that I'm going to put 12 feet over here so that it is like this, okay? So that my feet line up. So before, we always put that 1 on the bottom. Here, we're not, okay? We're going to make sure that diagonally, okay, just like when we cross simplify, that we have the same unit of measure, because that's how we are going to divide. Or, well, we're going to divide because we're going to get rid of those. We're going to cancel those parts out, okay? So take a look at this. It says convert 15 quarts to gallons. So on our previous page, which is up here, okay, we see, and I'm going to go ahead and erase this, we are talking, so we have some room to work, we are talking going from quarts to gallons. So when I look at quarts to gallons, right here, I see that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. Again, quarts is smaller than gallons. So this is what we do. I'm going with 15 quarts, okay? And I'm going to times that. I know that there's 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So I'm going to put 1 gallon up here and 4 quarts down here. Notice that my quarts are lined up, okay? They are lined up diagonally. So now I can divide the common units, meaning I can cancel those out. I'm getting rid of the common units. So now I'm left with just gallons. So then I end up getting 15 times 1/4. When I get 15 times 1/4, I go ahead and get 15 over 4. Can I leave it like that? Nope. I have to divide. I know that that goes in 3 times 12, and I'm left with 3 and 3/4 gallon. Now notice that they put theirs into a decimal. Doesn't matter, right? Those are still equivalent, whether we write the decimal or whether we write the fraction. Okay, so we're just going to remember that when we look at those, that it doesn't matter if it goes, these are equivalent. So 3 and 75 hundredths is the exact same as 3 and 3/4. Okay, all right, let's jump down here. Again, smaller to larger. I'm going from feet, and I want to know how many miles, feet to miles. So I have 2,640 feet. I know that when I multiply that, my feet has to be on the bottom. Therefore, I need to know how many are in 1 mile. And when we go back, I'm just going to look at my sheet here. I know it, but I'm going to just double check. I get 5,280. There's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Or there's 5,000, or there's 1 mile. In 1 mile, there's 5,280 feet. It does not matter. But what I know is that I have to have my units of measure on the diagonal so that I can cross simplify those out. Those are now gone. Okay, I have divided those out. I've divided the common units out, and now I can multiply across. Well, when I look at this, I know that I can divide each of these by 2. I'm going to cut each of them in half. Okay, well, and actually when I look at them, when I look at 2,640, and in my head I add 2,640, I get 5,280. So actually I can divide each of these, to cross simplify, by 2,640. So if I divide 2,640 divided by 2,640, I get 1. When I take 5,280 and I divide that, I get 2. Therefore, I get an answer of 1/2 miles. Well, let's just check. Let's see if I can get some room over here. If we didn't cross simplify, we would have multiplied across and we would have ended up with 2,640 over 5,280. I would have to simplify. Obviously, here I could keep dividing by 2, keep dividing by 2, it would take forever. Okay, instead, when I look at that, I can see that it is half of that, therefore I still get 1/2 mile. Okay, no matter what way you look at it. So that would make sense, that if I did 1/2 mile, I would have done 2,640 feet. Okay, let's take a look from ounces to pounds. And when we're looking at ounces to pounds, you're going to see on your chart up here, okay, ounces to pounds, I have 16 ounces in 1 pound. Okay, so 16 ounces in 1 pound. I'm going to come back to this. You guys can just flip through a lot easier. Actually, I don't even think you have to flip because it should just be right on the next page. So I have 16 ounces in 1 pound. So 100 ounces times, let's see, I know I need to have my ounces on the bottom, and I just said that there was 16 ounces in 1 pound. Okay, so now when I look at that, maybe I'll make that better because it looked kind of like it was 11. Okay, so when I look at that, I know that I can cross simplify if I wanted to. So I'm going to divide each of these by, I'm going to start with 2. Actually, if I divide each of them by 4, I would get 16 divided by 4 to get 4. 100, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to cancel out my units. 100 divided by 4, I get 25. So I end up with 25 over 4 because I multiply my numerators and I multiply my denominators. I get 25 fourths. Can I leave it like that? Nope, I have to divide it out. Okay, I know that that can go in 6 times, which is 24. I get 1. That 1 becomes my numerator, and that 4 becomes my denominator, and therefore I get 6 and 1/4. Okay, 6 and 1/4. All right, moving on. We're going to take a look at, this one right here. Let's take a look at G. Hang on, somebody just walked in. Okay, there we go. Never a day when I'm not like interrupted. Okay, so for F, we got 6 and 1/4, and we're going to label that as pounds. So sorry. Okay, G. Let's take a look at G. 3 cups equals how many pints? And so when I look to see how many cups are in 1 pint, up here, let me erase this. Taking a look, how many cups are in 1 pint? I see that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to try to remember that. I'm not going to try, I'm going to. Boy, I'm running out of room. I'm sloppy today. Okay, so we said that there was 2 cups, or 2C, I'm not going to spell it out. 2 cups in 1 pint, and I'm multiplying that by 3 cups over nothing. Okay, so here's what we have to remember. Since we're going from smaller to larger, we're going from cups to pints. Okay, I'm going to divide out my common units, which now I'm just going to multiply across. I get 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Can I leave it as 3 over 2? Nope, I can't. I've got to divide it out. Remember, I just dropped that down, and I get 1 and 1/2 pints, because my unit of measure is still right there. 1 1/2 pints. Okay, go ahead and turn to the next page, and we're going to go ahead and do some examples. So go to page 292. We're going to do some examples of small to large. Boy, this thing's being touchy today. Okay, from small to large. So we're going to write up here, small to large. What do we have to do when we go from small to large? We need to take that common unit, okay, and we need to make sure that we are able to divide out my common units, okay? So divide out common units. So meaning that, again, going back to that example, 1 yard is the exact same as 3 feet. 3 feet is the exact same as 1 yard. It does not matter which way it goes. However, when we're going from small to large, we want to be able to divide out that common unit. Therefore, they have to be diagonal from one another. So when I'm looking at quarts to gallons, okay, when I'm looking at quarts to gallons, I know that my quarts are smaller than my gallons, and I know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So since I'm going from small to large, and I would write small to large, here I would make sure that I would write large to small, okay? Since I'm going from small to large, I know that I have to divide out my common unit. So I'm going to have 12, give me some space, I'm going to get 12 quarts times, I have to have my quarts down here and my gallons up here because I have to cancel that out. Okay, so I have 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Now, taking a look at this, I can cross simplify. So I know that I can divide each of these by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And when I multiply across, I get 3 times 1, which is 3. And I have a denominator of 1, so therefore it is 3 gallons. Okay, it is 3 gallons. All right, we're going from inches to feet. How many inches are in a foot? Well, 12. Okay, so I'm going to set it up 12 inches times, and I'm going to put my feet up here and my inches down here because this have to be the same. Okay, it has to be the same because we're going to cancel those out. So in 1 foot there is 12 inches. We're going to divide out that common unit, get rid of it, be done with it. Now, when I look at this, I can cross simplify because I can divide each of these by 6, right? Yes. No. 7. No. What am I doing? I can divide each of these by 4. Oh, okay. I'm going to divide each of these by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 28 divided by 4 is 7. When I multiply across, I get 7 over 3. Give me some room here. Can't leave it like that, so I've got to divide it out. Okay? So now I have, how many groups of 3 can I make of 7? I can make 2 groups, which is 6. Subtract. That 1 becomes my numerator. My denominator is 1/3, so I get 1 1/3 feet. Okay? 2 1/3 feet. Okay. So I know that that was a lot of information over those pages. However, and I know it was a solid 30 minutes of, well, close to 30 minutes of videos. But I'm going to make another example for more practice problems on part 3, should you choose to jump in and do some of these example problems. If this is not making sense, then you need to do the extra practice on the next video. Okay, if you feel like you've got it and you know when you go from large to small that you're going to make a unit rate, so you're going to make sure that that denominator is 1 of whatever it might be. And when you go from small to large, all you know is that you just have to line up the same common unit diagonal from one another that we're comparing so we can get rid of it. Okay, so if you need some more help, jump in onto the next video, which will be maybe about 5 minutes of examples. Okay.